So pay close attention. If you pay close attention, you may just be all right with on the AC, okay? I do agree that these questions are somewhat repetitive. So don't try to fall for it's always going to fit this cookie cutter approach. You have your formulas and you use them as needed. Okay, so we're supposed to find the monthly payment. We've got a blended payment of $24.07 per thousand. So let's figure out the payment. We've got $35,600 minus the down payment. Do we need a table for this one? No, it's already, they give us the table rate. So you need to set it up like that. One more line is to subtract these two. So we get 30,700. Please don't rush. It takes you a few extra seconds to write this down. This is the loan. This, label it. The loan is what gets multiplied by that table rate the bank charges you. Okay? So when you multiply that, right, 24.07 divided by 1,000 times 30,700, your payment is $738.95. This is on page 29. That is your payment. Calculate the total amount paid back to the bank. Total paid to the bank. You don't have to have this. You just write out your calculations. $738.95. We multiply that by 12. And in this case, it's 4 years. Okay? So I erased that. $738.95 times 12 times 4. So you paid back $35,469.60. You always pay back more than what you borrow. Okay? You should see that pattern. Total interest paid on this. Total interest. I'm going to pretend like I never answered this. So you would take your, for some reason, so let me tell you what usually happens. On the exam, I'll ask for the total finance charge or the total interest. Students just do this part. That's mistake number one. Mistake number two, when they subtract, if I give you a pick between this number and this number, a lot of students take this one and subtract that from the total paid to the bank. But you have to pick the loan. Okay? So we have to subtract. You're basically figuring out, if I look at everything I've paid the bank and what they gave me in the first place, what is that interest? Okay, so that is $4,769.60. You must have a dollar sign, and you have to have the 0 after the 6, or else you lose a rounding error. Okay, that's going to cost you half a mark. The principal and interest paid on the first month's payment. I'm going to highlight a bunch of stuff after I'm done here. This is interest, like lowercase interest. So I'm going to give you the formula. It's the loan times the interest rate divided by 100. All of that divided by 12. That's how you find the interest paid on the very first month. Okay. So we take the loan, which is $30,700. We multiply by the interest rate divided by 100. My interest rate is 7.25%. If I divide that by 100, I get 0.0725. All of that gets divided by 12. So 3,700 times 0.0725, all of that divided by 12, you get 185.48. Okay, so on the very first payment, This much is going to go into the bank's pocket. They don't have pockets, they have like storage somewhere. And that's where they put that money, right? Most of the money isn't printed anymore. If you think about that, it's just like a number somewhere in the cloud, right? That they transfer. And then the principal is what is left over. So you take your payment and you subtract the interest that you've paid, and that's how you find out. So 738.95 minus 185.48. And that is 553.47 cents. So I always calculate this first, then I use this here. So if you have various colors, once you've got that there, I subtract it there. For the loan, I would like you to have, if you can, I will highlight the loan here, and I will highlight the loan here, and I will highlight the loan here. So it's very important to get the loan right, the amount that you're borrowing, okay? Because that's what everything basically hinges on. If there's no down payment, then it's the entire car, right? The vehicle cost, the price of the vehicle. Okay, so let's go to E. How much did Dilraj pay for the car in total, including the down payment? So total is down, and there's a formula for this, plus total paid to the bank. You combine those two. That's really how much the car cost you overall. So we take the 4,900 and total paid to the bank. We've already done that in B. If you want to go to B, it's 35,469.60. And so that's 40,369.60. Okay. So what does this, why is this different? Like, what's up with this? This is basically, if you take the down payment that came out of your pocket and all the payments that you've made, which also came out of your pocket, including interest, this is how much you really paid for the car at the end of the day, including the finance. Okay? So that's what we're talking about there. We're good? Page 30. I think for page 30, I'm just going to show you the answer key. I'm going to walk you through the answer key just because of time. Page 30, this is actually including, like, we need to also calculate the taxes. So we are buying a car at a dealership, and every time you buy from a dealership, it is going to be 12% tax. Whether it's new or whether it's used, you pay 12% no matter what. So we take the price of the car, there are no options, nothing like that, we just add 12%. This is what the car costs after tax. Then it says what would be the loan required? How much do you need to borrow? We take the price we just calculated, we subtract the down payment. So we need to borrow this much. Okay, that is our loan, okay? Then to find the monthly payment, just like before, we take the loan, we found this on page 32, right? Yeah, go ahead. We find that on page 32, right? I go and get my table rate, put it in here, over 1,000. Then that's my monthly payment. And the rest is basically the same as before. Maybe my wording changed a little bit. I may have changed your formulas a little bit in terms of how I call various components, but the rest is basically the same. Okay? So total interest, it says total amount paid for the vehicle, for the car at the end of the 5 years. That's when you want to go down plus total paid to the bank. You want to combine that. This is what you paid for the car. How much money in interest alone, like total interest, total paid to the bank, minus your loan. Subtract it, there's your interest. Yeah. The price, you going back to B? Yeah, so can you ask that again? The price of the car is always after all taxes, everything in. Yeah, and then we take the down payment off of that just before borrowing money. But all of that has to be included, right? Taxes, if you had to add taxes, you would want to do that. If there were any parts and labor, you would want to like combine that all, then take away the down payment, and then do your loan. I don't think you'll ever see that, but in real life, that's how it works. Yeah. Oh yeah, I did a sticker price question right here. If you add optional equipment of $1,500.
With Lyra and Crystal, please return back to room 54. I repeat, Lyra and Crystal, back to room 54. Thank you.
Okay. So for sticker price, remember no taxes. So I take the price of the car before tax, I add the option to it, and then this is my sticker price. Okay. Sticker price. We're good?